Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Groovy Voice Podcast. I'm Chase, here with Austin, as always.
You.
And today we're going to be actually talking about, I guess you could say, more a controversial topic. I know controversy, trigger warning, everybody. This actually isn't a trigger warning. This is actually really stupid. And if you think differently, from my opinion, you're wrong. No, this is going to be my opinion, and me and Austin actually may not share opinions on this, but we'll figure it out. Me and Austin normally do share opinions on a lot of things.
Yeah, or like in the head.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that Austin's so cute. Look at that new hair. I'm actually starting to warm up to the new hair. I was sad for like the first little while of the new hair, but I'm warming up to it.
Yeah, I'm warming up to your hair. I'm glad that you're growing it out a bit. I like it. It's like I get to have the satisfaction of having my long hair, but on your head.
Yeah.
And I just get to look at it.
Here, when it gets long enough, I'll trim it off and give it to you. And you can just like hang it on your wall behind you. We could put it on
It's
Grogu.
funny you said that. After I cut my hair, we can put it on Grogu here.
Grogu.
I kept my hair in a bag for like a couple weeks because I was like, I don't know what I want to do with it. I kind of want to glue it onto Grogu's head, but it was just sitting in a bag behind my desk for like a couple weeks, and I finally threw it away the other day.
That's hilarious. I love that. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Gwen Berry. Okay, so if you don't know what the Olympics are, they have pretty much the trials for it. So like you figure out who's going to be going for America to support America and like to be the face. So hammer thrower Gwen Berry turned away from the American flag as the national anthem played as she stood on the podium during the U.S. Olympic track and field trials, and she felt blindsided by the timing of the song. So her excuse is that she felt blindsided by the timing of the song, even though they played the national anthem. So she goes into the whole conspiracy theory that they only played it because she was standing up there because let me look and see because something about the shirt she's wearing. She's wearing a never mind. I heard something about like the shirt she was wearing was like a
it says her t-shirt says activist athlete.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be like a activist, like I think kind of part of like the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and like that's okay. Like they said that's allowed in the trials, everything like that. Okay, cool. I mean, freedom of speech, everything. We're America, so you can say whatever you want. So what it is this is all going on, but during the national anthem, everybody turns, looks at the flag, raises their right arm, puts it over their heart, and says the national anthem. Well, she decided, because she was like the people who kneeled during the national anthem during the football, which absolutely tanked the ratings for football and all that. She was like, oh, this is going to be my way of doing it, and turned away.
Right.
You are getting funded by America, the country you're supporting, to go and compete at the highest level,
right,
for America.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's totally over ridiculous, because I mean, hey, stand up for your views. You're an American too. We all have the right to our own opinion. But in something like this, where you're choosing to represent that country, why would you choose to represent that country if you're not fully devoted to support everything that's going on in that country?
Well, I mean, and not even supporting everything that goes on in that country.
I don't know.
Just the flag.
This is my first time hearing about it. I didn't hear about it much until now, but.
Okay, not even that. It's a flag. You're standing there supporting a flag. And I know people are going to say, well, the American flag was founded on... and supposedly it was supposed to be systemic racism. She's fighting against systemic racism. Which flag are you going to look at? Because all flags are funded on or established on systemic racism. Show me a single country that doesn't have systemic racism in the past.
It's true. It's very true.
It happened. Okay, it happened. Yeah, slavery happened. Slavery happened in a lot of countries. But I promise you, there is going to be no Russians, no Germans, nobody looking away from their flag during their national anthem.
Right, yeah.
And the thing is, what scares me is this person's going to do it. And just like the kneeling thing, every person that stands with her views is going to start doing it. We go to the Olympics, we look like a country that is about to fall. We are going to be in front of the world stage, and we're going to look like a country that is on its knees, falling apart. So we're going to go in front of the world stage, and we're going to have Americans turning away from our flag while the national anthem plays. These other countries are going to look at us like, why don't you do something about that? Like, we're going to be the laughing stock, more than what we already are, to these other countries.
Yes, exactly.
I say we have to put our foot down here.
Right.
Because you can, in the Olympics, you can go support a non-country, pretty much. Independent Olympians at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, there you go.
You can compete for the independent Olympian. You can do that.
Right.
Go do that. Don't compete for the United States if you're not going to represent the United States. If you're wanting to represent yourself and your ability, go do that. You are free to do that. Go get your funding by yourself. Go get your equipment by yourself. Go get your everything by yourself. And quit fake supporting a country that you're not going to stand for their flag.
Right. I think that's fair. Honestly, I think that is super fair. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like, it's so stupid that people are like, oh, because that's the thing. That's what's so scary, is because people are going to stand with her. And if enough people do, we're going to look like a bunch of idiots to every other country. And it's just like, I don't know.
So let me read off this article here. This is from the New York Post. And they have listed a U.S. hammer thrower. So Gwen Berry is a hammer thrower for the United States in the Olympics. Turned away from the American flag as the national anthem played while she and two other athletes stood on the podium at the Olympic trials Saturday. Later saying she was pissed that the Star-Spangled Banner played as she received her bronze medal. Gwen Berry, who qualified for her second U.S. Olympic team during the trials, shifted to the face of the stands rather than the flag before holding up a black shirt that read "Activist Athlete." And this is a quote from Gwen Berry. "I feel like it was a setup and they did it on purpose." Berry said of the anthem being played, "I was pissed, to be honest."
Okay, and I saw that and I was like, what? And so I looked deeper into it, and actually where I'm getting like a lot of my information is actually from the Flagrant 2 podcast. So if y'all want to go check that out, it's trigger warning right off the start. It's they're not a liberal or Republican or Democratic or Republican podcast. They just say whatever is the most offensive thing. And I love it because we're leaving in this era of just everybody being so scared to say anything.
Sensitive. Yeah.
And so it's kind of relieving to see. And so I like to watch them. And that's what I heard about this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this before my mind explodes. So the Olympic, the people that like hold the trial, they came out and they were like, we play the national anthem every day at this time. It just happened to be at that time. It just happened to be a coincidence. Like they have in their records where they play the national anthem every day at this time. And it was like, and so she could have been just as powerful. She could have done her justice by holding up the t-shirt afterwards. I don't see, okay, you're in that position. You're going to turn more people away because everybody, okay, we all have a collective unity by putting a flag over us and saying we're Americans. That is what brings us together as a people, not race, color, religion, nothing. opinions,
Yeah.
definitely not. None of that brings us more together than going, we're American.
Right.
Nothing else. We're not Canadian. We're not Brazilian. We're not Swahilian. Like, we're American. That's what brings us together. And we have a flag that shows that, which with all 50 states, red and white stripes, that's us, baby, America.
Right.
And they want to say that the American flag supports racism. But if you start saying that supports racism, quit buying Nike shoes. You know why? Because that supports child trafficking.
Yeah.
Don't buy anything Nike because that supports child trafficking. All right, go forward. Anything that has any connections to somebody that's racist and has built a company, don't buy the product. Don't do it. You can't do it because that supports racism, in your opinion.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's a twisted mindset. Like you said, how she could have just held up the shirt afterwards, after she did all of it, instead of doing it before. Because doing it, instead of doing it like during it, you could have just paid your respect by doing what the other athletes did, instead of just totally disrespecting them and then doing your thing. Where, because it's a two-way road. You know, if you're fighting for this to be correct, you're fighting for equality. It's not equality if you're disrespecting the area in which you're defending or you're playing for in the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know.
I mean, you go to other countries, you don't stand for their national anthem, they'll break your knees so you never stand again. I mean, I'm not wrong. I mean, and that's what I love about America. That's right there is what I love about America. We can say and do whatever we want, but there's got to be a point where you go, okay, well, that's stupid. Like,
right.
Like saying that,
right.
like, we can all say the earth is flat, but there's got to be a point where we go, you know what? That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't.
Like, yeah, you're free to have that opinion, but there's got to be a point where you go, oh, well, I mean, that just doesn't make sense.
Right, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and also, can we talk, what is hammer throwing? You're not even throwing a hammer. You're spinning a chain with a ball and seeing how far you could.
Right.
We
Yeah.
have too many sports in the Olympics. I think we got to take some of them things out. Hammer throwing.
Dude, they're gonna add hot dog eating later in some years.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
We gotta start getting rid of some of this stuff. Like, nobody cares. Like, you got a couple sports that everybody's like, oh yeah, that's cool. So America, what we do is we find sports we're good at and we just make so many variants of it so we have more chances of winning. That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
How many different types and styles of swimming do we need? There's a butterfly, there's a backstroke. Why don't we just have freestyle, the fastest one, and just see who's the fastest? But no, we're good at swimming as Americans, so let's just make so many different styles of swimming. It's insane, and it's so funny when you look at it.
So, like, America's like, okay, Jamaica is beating us in races. Let's just make hammer throwing. We're good at that. We got bodybuilders, right? We could do that.
Yeah, and a lot of it came from like the old Olympians. That's why it's called the Olympics, like the hammer throwing and all that. But still,
yeah,
we gotta. This is old, outdated. Like, we gotta start getting rid of some of this stuff. Like, just kind of start, brushing some of that off. We don't need it. And
right,
it's just so funny. I was like, how many different swimming activities? There's at least like 20 different like styles of swimming in the Olympics. We don't need 20.
I actually want to see how many swimming
styles.
What am I trying to say here? Swimming styles
are in the Olympics.
All right. 4. There's 4. So there's okay, does it say? Let me see if it comes up with a list. Freestyle or front crawl, whatever that is, backstroke or back crawl, breaststroke, not breath, and butterfly. Yeah, I don't even know what butterfly is, but apparently that originated out of the 50s and 60s.
Well, if there's 4 of them and it feels like 20, you got to take a couple out. All right,
Yeah, right.
If there's 4 of them and I feel like I'm watching 20 of them, you got to start like cutting some of that. And also,
I mean, they could start with the butterfly. I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, I mean, I think we can move on from that now, right?
Yeah. Same thing with like hammer throw, just like cut some of that out, Another thing, if we're so good at basketball in the Olympics, why don't we just start, adding 3v3s, 1v1, like 3-shot,
1v1
dunk contest. Like, come on, let's start going all out. Let's go. Wilden. Let's start Wilden. Come on. Oh, okay. So, another note. Let's talk about Valorant a little bit. So
Sure.
We've been both playing a little bit of Valorant. I've been actually playing more Valorant here recently, which I call it the demon game, even though I still play it.
Yeah. I would never predicted that Chase would have gotten back into Valorant.
The reason I did is because it's starting to feel a little bit more like CS:GO. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? My opinion, good thing. For other people's opinion, maybe a bad thing. Ranked demons aren't as powerful. But what I want to touch more on, just less of like gameplay of Valorant, but how stressful it has to be for high level players right now. So Valorant came out with an update 2 months away from Masters 3, which is the next big Valorant tournament. They came out with it after months of practice and team comps and everything. They come out with a brand new update that changes everything. It changes econ. It changes how guns play. Everything is changed. 2 months. So teams are like now in a point of stressing out, trying to get more practice in. People are feeling overplayed, all this stuff. Love Valorant, but your timing, you gotta work with your esport.
Yeah, I agree. I never even really thought about that. Since I've been playing since they released a new update, it's been really weird trying to keep my econ steady, because it's like now I don't know how to play a save round because they're throwing 50s into the mix. So it's like, okay, well, and on top of that, they changed a lot of the agents' ability prices. Like Raze's Boombot now 400, Sage's Wall is 400. It's I don't know. It's really weird because it's like a save round now. I'm lucky to get away with 850 credits. Where usually, full buy round.
Yeah, and
used 1,200 or something
in the bank, and you're like, okay, well, we can take an econ after, like we can buy SMGs next round. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to be more like Papa CS:GO, and
that's exactly it.
And so CS:GO, they have a buy system that's worked forever, but they have what Valorant doesn't have that CS:GO has, and it's the reason why it feels so weird. And CS:GO feels so, it still feels weird to a new player, but like it's easy to learn because different guns give you more money.
Right.
You kill somebody with an SMG, you'll get 2 times more than what you would get if you killed them with a rifle. You kill somebody with a shotgun, you get 3 times as much as what you killed with a rifle. So that's how you bolster your buy. So you buy those SMGs, you farm up money against a save round. Like say you win pistol round, you buy SMGs because the other team that lost pistol round isn't going to have money. So you use those SMGs against people that don't have guns. You build up money. Next round, you use those same SMGs. If you get a win, you have even more money. But if you die, you can buy rifles next round.
Yeah.
Valorant, on the other hand, you buy SMGs second round, you kill them, you go against them again, you lose, you don't have money. You have enough money for maybe 1 round.
Right, exactly.
And so it's like full buying in Valorant now is getting a Spectre and full armor. Or that became, it's like, I played a couple ranked games and I'm like, 90% of the game I'm running out with a Spectre full armor.
Yeah, right.
Which for people that don't know, Valorant, Spectre is an SMG. It's one of their top tier SMGs. And it's what I felt like half the game, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, it's weird adapting to it because I'm still doing it. I still don't, I can't fully grasp like a save round on top of, playing an agent that got a severe nerf in terms of the pricing of their abilities, like Omen. Omen no longer starts out with both of his smokes; he has to buy one. His blind is still 400 credits, which still brings the base.
Wait. You have to buy one, but it recharges.
Yes, I think it's like Reyna's orb, where or Sky's blind, where after a round you get another charge. But if you use like Omen's smoke one round, then at the starting of the next round you just have one, and you have to buy another.
Yeah, but doesn't his smokes recharge over the course of a round? Only one.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Is it only one now?
I think only one recharges. I think it's only one recharges unless you buy another one. Oh, sorry. Did it cut off for a second?
Man, Austin's still lagging. But dang, does he look cute in his little lag stage.
Are you being serious?
No. I know y'all can't see it, and I won't be able to show you on his footage, but it's looking kind of cute.
Oh my god. We're doing so good. Why is it cutting out
I don't know
now?
what happened to him. I'm just sitting here. Directing the
Oh my god, 5,000 MS! 5,000 MS! Screenshot. The fuck? Chase, okay, we're back.
Hey, bud. All right.
So, oh my god, we were doing so good, and then it just cut out. Okay.
You were saying
so-
Omen smokes. I was talking about him recharging.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so
Three, two, one.
So I think if you buy both smokes, both will recharge. Unless you don't buy both, then I think it might only be one. I think that makes sense. Or it's just one recharges. I don't know. I haven't fully tested that theory, but
Also, people that pick Omen on Breeze are missing a brain cell.
Why? Why do you say that?
He's useless.
On Breeze, really?
What are you gonna smoke off? There's 60 different angles.
I guess that's true.
What?
I haven't played Omen on Breeze.
I know, but like, you gotta look at the map. It's huge.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Viper is such a good pick
Yes.
for Breeze, and any other controller is useless unless you're playing Astra.
That's true.
Astra is.
Because I mean, I guess like, if you're attacking on a site, I mean, there's so many angles around pyramids that they can push you from. So you want to smoke that, but then you want to smoke back towards Hall, underneath Hall, or Aztec to mid. I mean, there's so many places. I guess I never really thought about that. I guess Brim wouldn't be too bad, but I think Astra probably is ultimately the best smoke besides Viper on Breeze.
Yeah, Viper is the #1 best agent to pick if you're playing controller on Breeze. And if you're not picking Astra, you're throwing. And also another thing, and it like really made me mad. Somebody goes, I pick KO, and they go, "Oh, you're just, we insta-locked 3 duelists because somebody insta-locked Reyna, somebody insta-locked, what was the other one? I think it might have been Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Really?
And so I locked KO, and then like somebody goes, "Oh, I guess we're just gonna insta-lock 3 duelists." I'm like, "I'm an initiator," and they go, "Yeah, but it plays more like a duelist." I'm like, "Do you not know what initiator is?"
It's like saying Breach is the ultimate duelist.
Like, okay, I can see. No, I can't even see how you would. He has
really.
a Molly, which, I mean, I guess you could say, well, then Phoenix is a. But he has a curveball. Like his flash goes around the corner, and I guess you could play KO as a duelist a little bit. Like I guess you could only pop flash for yourself. But somebody that has like 2 brain cells and knowing how to play KO, that's not how his best abilities are used. The best way for his abilities to be used is you see your teammate and you're like, "Hey, do you want to peek that?" They go, "Yeah." I said, "All right, wait for my flashbang to go off." I throw it over something, it flashes behind them, and they peek out, and then they kill somebody. That's how you play KO. I understand people could play him wrong, but you could play Sage like a duelist. I mean, if we're gonna go off how people are playing him, I mean, you could Sage wall into the enemies and be like, "Oh, it's a duelist now." Like, I don't know why you're.
Yeah. Yeah, duelist or what is it? Battle Sage has been a thing since out of beta. But no, KO. I wouldn't say KO is a duelist, but he's probably the strongest initiator in the game right now, at least. I don't know what kind of nerf they're coming up with, but I know that they're going to nerf KO.
Are they?
Because dude, I know they have to be because I've been having too much fun playing KO.
No.
And if I'm having fun playing Riot's game, they're gonna nerf it.
No. I was actually listening to Shroud talk about this a little bit because everybody's like, oh, they're gonna nerf KO. Oh, they're gonna nerf KO. He goes, y'all are silver-brained idiots. He's like, pretty much was like, y'all are a bunch of silver players saying this. He goes, if you look at this from a competitive standpoint, he has the most balanced kit in the game. He goes, he has the most well-rounded kit in the game. And in a competitive level, he will be played and he will also be shut down. Like, he could be shut down. He can also be played very well. Like, he's just a good agent.
Right.
Like, just because you're getting destroyed by him doesn't mean he's broken.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess a player playing in Elo Hell, like Silver, maybe Gold, playing against a KO, can't really find a counter because they're not too versatile in the game. But someone who's been up in the ranks of like Diamond and Immortal probably was like, yeah, no, he's a good agent, but he's nowhere near as OP,
Yeah, so like, I mean, it's not like Ray's having 2 grenades OP. Like, it's not, you're not just able to utility spam everything. And let's say you have somebody that likes to play KO. Well, when it comes competitive time, if you don't want to play against KO, you know what map you pick? Breeze! The one map that just destroys KO. Because now after playing Breeze a couple times, I don't want to play KO on Breeze ever again.
Yeah, no, I think, dude, personally, I think the best agent to play on Breeze, like, if you go into a Breeze game and you're like, God, I hate this map, I'm going to do so bad, pick Breach. I think Breach is the strongest, most versatile. Breach or Sky. Someone with good blinds on Breeze. It's super strong.
Or if you want to like help your team out and you don't have a controller, pick Viper.
Viper is super strong. There are so many walls that you can do through A site or B site or even through mid that'll help control the sites and keep your team alive. I know what people are going to be like, oh, I don't know how to play Viper. I've never played her before. Download Blitz.
No, not even that. Look at your mini-map.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It shows you where her wall is going to go.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw the best smokes. Like, you don't see pros using lineups very often.
Yeah.
How often do you see a pro using a lineup?
That's true. Unless they're playing like a Sova or something.
Like a pro controller. Like as somebody that's at pro level and they're playing a controller with smokes. They're not throwing these like crazy Viper. No. Like, I mean, you'll see like a couple here and there, but you're not going to see like the crazy bullcrap that you would think. A lot of them just play her as she is, like just plays in regularly. You want to block off an area with smoke so that you can't just get one tap.
Right, and the point of Viper is that her wall and her smoke take away health from the enemy team. So you don't need to put it in some like crazy articulate spot. Literally put it in the entrance to site. So if they want to push up, they're going to have to take damage from your wall, and it's easier for you to pick them off. That's it.
And you wait for them, like, okay, you know they're going to push. You activate your stuff a little bit before you hear them or something, you activate it.
Right.
And if you know they're not going to push, you lower it for a second. You hear them start coming back, you can activate it real quick. And you can Viper Molly inside of it and stuff. And it's just like, you just got to have a little bit of brain. But I guess I'm also talking about the Valorant community, so that goes out the window.
Yeah, brains are dumped off before they click play.
Yeah, no, I can tell by playing enough Valorant in my life. But no, I mean, it's whatever. I want to talk a little bit about like kind of like the mental coming into this tournament, and if you see some of your better teams like dropping out, it's because they didn't have that time to prep.
Right. If you see your team getting destroyed by Sentinels, that has nothing to do with the game. It's just because they're bad.
I was about to say it's just because you're going against Sentinels. Like you're not. They are the best team in the world. So like you're not really. And it was funny. Dapper tweeted, "I'm actually more worried about NA qualifiers than I am going into Worlds."
Really?
He goes, "I'm more worried about NA qualifiers than I was at Iceland." Because NA is so much scarier than any other region because we're just better. Because I mean,
yeah, it's true.
NA is legit. You show our top 10 teams. Our top 5, our top 10. That starts to get a little sketchy. Our top 5 teams. You could put that top 5 against any other nation's top 5, and I bet you money they come out of the top 3 times out of 5.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look at the game like Fnatic versus Sentinels. You know, EU was nothing to them.
But Fnatic and Liquid were
Liquid
just demons in the EU region.
Right.
They were just destroying all these other EU teams. Sentinels didn't lose a single map in all of Iceland.
I love the fucking clip of Tyson just going 3-0 as they're walking off the stage. Yeah. It's so good, dude. It gives me chills.
And so it's like nobody's gonna beat Sentinels, and it just shows how powerful NA is. Because you know who did take off maps from Sentinels right before Iceland? NA teams. NA teams took maps off of Sentinels before any other world region could.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Man.
So if a team in NA is afraid to go against another team in NA, EU should probably start adjusting their roster or fixing their plays, or not sleeping and focusing on their gameplay 24/7.
Or actually watch other teams' VODs.
Yeah.
Because what was it? Was it Liquid? I can't remember. There was a team that came into the tournament and they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't watch other teams play."
Yeah,
I think it might have been Fnatic. I think it legit might have been Fnatic. They were like, "Oh, we're not watching anybody's screens. We're just gonna play our own game." And
was it Iceland?
Yeah, it was at Iceland. They were like, it was one of the teams there.
It was Fnatic.
They were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna watch any other teams. We're just gonna play our own game and win." And then they just got destroyed by Sentinels. Like
exactly. Yeah, I saw a clip of Sentinels in their little waiting room in Iceland, and Shazam has his piece of paper and like where he wrote stuff down to remind himself. He's like, okay, this guy on this team, he likes to do this play, so he'll end up like this, so you can pick him off like this kind of thing.
There was a thing on Dapper's stream where he was talking about how thick Shazam's playbook was.
Really?
Like he was like, it was huge, and it had everything about every team.
Exactly.
And he he was constantly updating it. He is by far the best IGL that is in Valorant. Prove me wrong. Yes. I would say he's getting close to being one of the best IGLs in esports. He is making that big a name for himself because he doesn't quit. He just does not quit, and he loves the game.
Right. Yeah. It is, dude. Everything about him is screaming professional at the top of the line.
Oh, yeah.
I started using his crosshair in Valorant. My headshot percentage has gone way up, dude. I went from like on Blitz, so I'm tracking my headshot percentage.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would score below an iron in average headshot percentage. Now that I'm using Shazam's, I've gone up to like platinum level. Sometimes one of my games, I think I took a screenshot of it. It was above Radiant because I guess I just got lucky, but. Everything about Shazam, dude. He knows his shit. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, Shazam knows his shit.
And that's the thing. And it was like, somebody on the Sentinels team said it. They were like, if Shazam doesn't beat you with aim, he's gonna destroy you in the mind. Like he's just gonna, he's gonna rip you apart. Like he is going to. And that's the thing. Is a lot of times when you see Sentinels just dominate other teams, it's because they know what they're gonna do before. They know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And Shazam will
they're 3 steps ahead.
And like you watch Shazam call a ranked match off of like he's 5 rounds in. He knows exactly what each person's gonna do on the other team before they and he's normally 98% right. Like he sees like
Right.
first round info and he can call a match.
Right.
And it's so insane because like it's just, you look at like top level IGLs, some of them are barely able to do that and stay consistent.
Right.
So it's just like, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, dude, it's it's amazing because it's like I don't want to say I'm like supporting a team because I know that they'll never lose, but it just so happens I'm supporting a team that I'm confident that will. I'm not saying they'll never lose, but I know that they're gonna have a pretty positive score in their careers.
Oh, yeah.
It's I don't know, man. It's getting to a point where I think that tournaments are gonna start benching Sentinels. Like, okay, hey guys. Your record is 5-0 right now. You can sit this one out, okay?
Well, no, it's not even that. If you look at CS:GO, and so this is like all the big CS:GO nerds. Astralis, they went on a tear with tournaments. They were winning every tournament back to back to back to back to back. Like they won 3 tournaments back to back to back, and it was just like, and they were going without losing a single map because they were they worked so perfectly together. And that's what I would say the other like number 1 IGL would probably be wow, I can't remember their IGL. I think it might have been Magisk. It was either Magisk or it was Dupree. But anyways, they're up there with like the number 1 IGL because he was able to just make the team do what he wanted.
Right.
That's it. That's what you have to have. You have to have that player that is going to go in there and go, this is what's happening. This is what we're going to do. And you're all going to do it. Because everybody that's out there deserves to be there.
Right.
Everybody that's out there deserves to be there because they have the ability to be out there. So you just have to take those people that deserve to be out there and give them the place to shine. And know where they're going to shine the best and help you win. I mean, you take Sentinels bringing Tens into the roster, and then how Tens was like, yeah, Shazam was just pretty much like, hey, you're going here doing this, and just plug me into because he knows everybody that's out there deserves to be out there, and he knows where each player is going to do the best work.
Right.
And so he put Tens. He knows how good Tens is. He knows where to put Tens. And Tens listens. Boom. Done. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. It's just it's the coordination. You need to have that coordination. If you have a player, it's like, no, I'm like if Tyson, if this were alternate dimension Tyson, where he's like so full of himself and he's like, oh, I know how good I am. You can suck ego. It. I'm gonna push mid. I'm gonna kill all of them mid. And then as soon as you come out of arches, you get one tapped. Yeah. If you don't have the coordination and the strategy and the what am I trying to say, the discipline to listen to your IGL and like do a play, do it, then you're not gonna come out on top like that. I mean, especially in a game like Valorant, everyone thinks that like, oh, kills mean everything. It doesn't. What means everything is winning the round. That's how you win the game, is by winning the certain amount of rounds
and keeping your numbers up and like making sure you have enough guns at the end of the round to make sure you can win next round.
Exactly. That's why in higher elo games, most of times, whenever someone gets a kill, they're usually traded with somebody. Like you kill someone, then you get killed, and now it's 4v4. It's not like a blowout every time.
Yeah, and so it's just like, this is what makes a team. And so, that's the reason I wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit more, is just like IGLs in general. That's where like mental comes into this. Mental is such a big part of where esports lies in just what you're doing, to the point of like, so you have to be able to have the mental to be able to go, all right, I trust my IGL. Because when you're playing with a person, you have to be able to trust them to a degree. Yeah. That's why a lot of times a lot of teams will stay in a house together. They'll pretty much live together in order to build that trust, build that, like, you have to have so much trust in the person that's right behind you.
Yeah, exactly. It's and that's also why a lot of times, like you said, the mental thing, That's why you see so many people who are a part of teams, like FaZe, Fnatic, Sentinels. Why they work out a lot is you need to keep that mental stability. You need to stay on top of your health and stuff, because you're not going to play good if you're not physically good. If you're not really feeling yourself, that's going to reflect on your gameplay.
Yeah.
So you have to stay mental. And then, of course, on the other side of things, on top of that, on top of your mental health, your social health with the people that you're playing with and with your friends. That's why you said, most of them live in a house together, so they can learn how the other person thinks. They build up that bond, that brotherhood.
Yeah, and that's why you don't see these monster teams. You don't see these teams that are just ridiculous talent altogether. Because a lot of times when you have ridiculous talent, an ego follows.
Exactly.
I mean, you take Tens is not you got lucky with Tens, and the fact that he's just like, I'm not gonna be egomaniac. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, he's just happy to be there.
Yeah,
he's a golden retriever.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's why you don't get these. It's like you put LeBron James. I suck at sports, so don't even.
I don't know anybody. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant,
Michael Jordan, the Shaq, and all that. You put them all on a team together, they're not gonna do good, because they're a bunch of egos. Bouncing into each other, going, "No, give me the ball," and then nobody gets the ball, and you don't win. You're not going to win championships with a team of a bunch of people that want to take the shot. You got to have people like Zoms on the Sentinels that's going to stand back. He's going to support the team. Shazam talked about it. He was like, Zoms every now and then in the middle of the match, he'll go, "Yeah, guys, I'm just over here playing StarCraft, and y'all just have your fun." Because he's sitting there looking at the mini-map, placing smokes. He's sitting there with Astra. He goes with Astra more than anybody. He's like, "All right, guys, I'm playing StarCraft. Y'all have fun." And he'll sit back and he'll just place stars, activate them when they want them.
Right.
And then still pull off insane clutches. It's just, you gotta have people that are willing to just go, "All right, I'm gonna entry into the site, probably die, but hey, be behind me and get ready to kill the person that killed me."
Right, exactly. Yeah, the whole trading system. You need to have that.
And the amount of mental it takes to be able to go look at the leaderboard, and let's say you go 10 and 15, and your team wins.
Yeah.
You got to be able to go, "You know what? I did what it took for my team to win. I didn't do poorly."
Exactly.
You can still go negative KD, not do poorly, and your team win, and then you look at Twitter, and people go, "Oh, well, look, Zoms is underperforming, or Dapper's underperforming, or
negative KD, or whatever." Yeah.
And it's no, they did their job. They showed up, they did their job, they got the win. Done. Easy.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at like Dapper, and you're like, Dapper's everyone's favorite Daddy Cypher main. He's not playing a character where necessarily his objective is to hold down site and kill everyone who tries to push site. It's his duty to control the site, and so that if his buddies are there and the enemies are pushing up, his buddies can kill them, and to guarantee that his buddies either don't get traded or do get traded. If they die, then he kills the guy that killed his teammate. It's not everyone's job to just push out and kill anyone who tries to push.
And that's the thing. Let's say Dapper pushes out and dies, none of his stuff is effective anymore. He is no longer an effective piece on the board, and now everybody has a disadvantage of not having that gear, that setup.
Right. Yeah.
And so he has to play back. And a lot of times he'll be the last person to die. And if he does die, that means he's getting 3v1. Because that means they took out both the front line, and now he's the last one on site getting triple peaked. And I think there was a map where Zoms went, or Dapper went 2 and 12. And then the next map he dropped a 30 bomb. The amount of mental it takes to go 2 and 12, win, go the next map, drop 30, and win is insane.
Yeah.
Or you look at Sick during their qualifying for the Reykjavik, the Iceland, he carried them 2 maps in a row in order to bring them to Iceland because they were doing bad as a team. And Sick was like, "Oh, nah, jump in my backpack. I got this." After doing that, Sick was underperforming for like the past 2 maps or the past like 2 games. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Sick's underperforming." But good thing he's got 10s, because if they didn't have 10s blowing up the leaderboard, then, you know, Sentinels would be doing bad. And then 10 started underperforming. And guess who was like, "All right, I guess it's, all right, boys, get in the backpack, my turn." And he just started blowing up the leaderboard. It's like, it takes that mental of being, "Oh no, I'm doing bad. But hey, I'm just going to keep doing my job because my team got my back." Like, I don't got to worry about if I underperform, that my team's going to not be there.
Right.
And still be like, "All right, I'm going to do the best I can, even though I'm doing bad this game."
Yeah, it's super cool that they have a team like that. Like, I see Sick as their universal player. He'll play a duelist if you need him to. He'll play an initiator if you need him to, or a sentinel if you need him to. And he performs well in each of those categories. You know, I like to imagine that, like, he'll play a bunch of unrated games and he'll pick a different character every single game and just learn different. Yeah, you know. And that was one of my favorite things in the video on like meeting the Sentinels, is that they had the little skit where it's like Sick just comes in clutch. Sick's always able to play whatever agent, no matter what. He's just there. He's like, "All right, I'll do it." Like, "All right, whatever, I'll do it." Yeah. All right, I got you. Don't worry.
Okay, you want this?
Like,
cool.
Hey, Sick. Yeah, I need you to push mid and kill 5 of them, please. Like, all right, you got it, Shazam. I got you.
All right. Yeah. Do you want me to wall off everything too? Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I got it. And I mean, and the thing is he's like, okay, and you can look at every single Sentinel member and go, yeah, they just go, okay, because Shazam is that guy that's just going, "All right, you do this. All right, you do this. All right, you do this," and everybody goes, okay. Like, "All right, you want this? All right, cool, Shazam. You know what's going on." Like, they trust. Yeah, exactly. They trust Shazam fully.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna all save up and we're gonna make sure Tins has an third round." And they were like, okay. Everybody was just okay. Cool. And whoever has the money is gonna buy it for him no matter what.
Right.
And they trust that that's gonna work. And then and Tins is under no pressure, under a lot of pressure, but he goes, "Oh, Shazam's got a plan for me. I'm just gonna do it."
Yeah.
Without even a second of thinking. Because that's with esports. You can't sit there and think if something's gonna work or not. You have to just trust that a plan's gonna work.
Yeah.
And I think I think esports, more than any other sport, has, people don't understand, a level of, I don't know, just thinking that doesn't, or split-second decision-making. I mean, you look at football, quarterbacks having to split-second decision
call audibles and change the plan.
But that doesn't happen as much as in esports. Because when you're at a game with a multivariable system, anything could happen. Technically, anything could happen within the realms of that engine.
Right.
And you have to go, "All right, change your plan."
Right.
And with sports, I mean, you have the realms of possibility. Like actual physical sports, you have the realms of somebody can't just start flying. Like, that's not going to happen. I mean, so yeah, it's definitely cool to look at esports and like the way that people don't see it, of just the amount of that has to happen.
Yeah.
But
no, it's cool seeing where esports has come, because I was never really one to watch esports. I might have watched a little bit of some Overwatch esports in the past, a little bit of some World of Warcraft esports where they're just doing like 2v2 or 3v3 skirmishes, stuff like that. But now in the world of Valorant, and I guess Valorant kind of brought me into the esports field, but now that I'm here, I'm noticing that esports has evolved a lot. We have a lot more people who have a lot more talent. People like Shazam who have become these ultimate leaders in their thought process of being able to think of, okay, yeah, I'm going to study these guys' plays. I'm going to watch everything that these guys are doing, and then I'm going to make up plays to counter that. Yeah, it's something like that you never really think of. When I'm queuing up to a comp match, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go in. I'm just gonna try to click on heads as much as I can. I'm not thinking about oh, this guy's probably gonna push here, or this guy's gonna push here. This Smurf jet main is probably gonna dash on the site here, or stuff like that. Yeah, but no, it's super cool. It's super cool to see where esports has come and how big it is. That it's actually it's considered an actual sport now, and that people are able to make this amount of money. Of course, it's nowhere near like what football players get paid for playing in the Super Bowl. But
look at Tenz's contract. But no, not everybody's getting a Tenz contract. Not everybody.
Right.
Okay, so let's go a little bit more into like, I guess what you would say real world. Okay, So how much do you know about Britney Spears?
I know that Britney Spears, big in the 90s, did a lot of bad things, broke a lot of laws, did a lot of drugs, no longer has control over her own money.
That's what I wanted to get into. So, I want to make sure I get the word right, but I'm just not going to say it in case I do get it wrong. Because it sounds a lot like a different word, and I always mess up the two. Okay, so Britney Spears is getting, so she is earning around like $3 million or something like
per
that,
year?
Or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on like the actual data, but from that, she's getting 1%, and that's after taxes, everything like that.
What?
Okay, her dad.
I gotta do the math on that.
It's around $2,000.
Wait, so that's like $3 million a year?
I don't know. I'm not 100%. Like I said, I'm not 100% on the numbers.
Okay.
But she's getting around. So just pretty much all you need to know is she's getting cut. Like she's getting
right.
And her dad is getting 1.5 gross of what she's supposed to be getting.
What?
So if you don't know what getting a gross amount of something is a gross amount is where you take the money before taxes, before state income tax, before anything gets taken out of it for any type of charges or anything like that, and that's taken from it.
Right.
So he takes that cut. That goes through a system where it takes out all the other stuff. Then she gets 1% of whatever's left of that. So she's getting roughly $2,000 a month or something like that, like $2,000 a month, which I mean is still good, but compared to what she could be.
Yeah, like $3 million.
Now take this. She was forced to get an IED or IED. I think that's right. That's where
IED.
Yeah, it's where you get a thing where you can't have kids.
Yes. Yeah.
And she was forced to have one, even though she wants to have kids with her current guy.
Yeah.
Her other kids that she has, she still has to pay child support, which is also from a gross amount from what she's supposed to be earning, along with, so that gets taken out to go to child support.
Oh my God.
And so all this is happening to her, and she can't do anything about it. She's having to work 7 days a week. She talks about how she doesn't get any free time. And what I think is going on is, so we all see Britney Spears as this crazy person. I don't think she's crazy.
No.
I think she's being controlled by the system that she's put in, and she's trying to get back at them. She's trying to make herself look less desirable to them so they quit controlling her. Because the less desirable she is, the less money she makes, the less control they have over her.
Right.
So the whole thing with her shaving her head, and we all thought she was completely crazy.
Yeah.
She came out with a was in a press conference and just made the statement of talking about like how she's being controlled, how she wants out, but she can't get out. And anyways, and she goes, I even was as pretty as they wanted me to be. Or something to that. I'm not quoting it specifically. Don't expect this to be your newscast of the day for Britney Spears. But I just kind of want to talk about how that is happening. And there's nothing these people can do about it. And how that draws attention. But the fact that instead of looking deeper, we were told that she's crazy, and we go, oh yeah, she's crazy. Okay, cool, whatever. That explains all of her actions. We didn't think anything more than, oh, she's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's, you gotta think back to like all these people that like get called crazy, and we're just like, oh, well, that explains their actions. Okay, well, whatever. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, no, I think honestly, it probably in the 90s, you know, when you get a hit song and then you have millions and millions of people coming at you,
while she was 19. While she was 19.
While you're 19. Like, if my age, like, if you know, the next day I go from earning $1,000 per month to earning, you know, I don't know, 300,000 a month. That's definitely going to change you, and so maybe that's. Especially being there's something called the singer's curse or the frontman's curse in music, where, you know, being the front person of either a group or a band, where like it does something to you, and some people turn to drugs to cope with that. You know, and that's not obviously right, but you know, that's probably what happened to her in the 90s. Obviously she's more grown, she's a different person now. So everything that she did back then, I don't think it's fair that they really keep her held accountable of that. And that's why they're saying, oh, we're going to keep a control on your money. You can't have any kids, whatever, you know, you're going to ruin your life even more. And her father, especially, just like feeding off of that. And I don't know, man, I think it's really messed up.
And so, this is going back to, I watched the Flagrant 2 podcast. This is kind of where I heard about this. Like, and I got the rough analysis of it. And then I've done my own looking into it. But the way he actually, and I thought this was like a really good take, is so this guy wrote a book, and I can't remember exactly the guy's name. And so I don't want to try to come up with anything because I could be completely wrong. And he made a book called something Pimp, like a Pimp's Life or something. And in it, he talked about these corporations being like a pimp with a prostitute. When they're done with her, they don't let her go, they break her. That's what these corporations are trying to do with Britney Spears. They're not just gonna be like, all right, we're done with you, we're gonna let you go. They're going to make her work 7 days a week till she can't work anymore.
Right.
And so her buzzing off all of her hair, they're doing all this. Her ratings have dropped a lot, but what's the point in letting her go if they're still making money off of her?
That's true, yeah.
But they've broken her in the process. But if they let her go, what if she becomes a hit again and they no longer have that control? Or like the same way with like a pimp and a prostitute. Like, what if he lets her go and she rats him out? Like, instead he's just gonna break her, destroy her, and make sure that she has no ties to anything else ever again.
Right.
So, as it is, it's like, I mean, you gotta, it's crazy that it's happening and that nobody thinks anything of it. And I want to also talk about, in this same light, Disney kids. These kids that have gone into show business become extremely famous at the age of 9, 10. And, well, they have things in set for, like, trust funds and stuff like that. So, like, all the money you earn doesn't straight go to you. It goes to a trust fund that when you turn 18, you can use. Pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
But still, you have to have somebody controlling your life for however long your career lasts as a kid. It's like, what the heck? And there's no way of going back. You're always the Disney kid.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you lose that fame from being the only thing you know and the only thing you're raised around to dropping off, that's why you see so many of these Disney kids on hard drugs. You see all these Disney kids trying to reach that high again that they got when they were a kid. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is horrible for society.
Yeah. It's you see it like with Bella Thorne. I'm pretty sure the show she was on, Shake It Up, I'm pretty sure that was a Disney show. Where Bella Thorne is
Shake
now.
It Up is.
Yeah, Shake It Up. So where she is now, I mean, she directed a porno a little while ago. And when you see her on the internet, you definitely don't think, oh, that's definitely kid friendly. But and then with Macaulay Culkin, he was in the Home Alone movies while he was a child. Where he is now, it's not so bad, but there was that stage of when, we were still young, so we didn't know where he was at.
Yeah.
But now that we're older, we can look back and see where he was then. And dude, he was on meth, heroin. He was bald. That he did a show on YouTube. This was after he got clean. But the show on YouTube that he did was so weird, and when you look at it, sometimes there'll be like little flashes of like satanic imagery on the screen, and then others like skits that they're doing. You're just like, what the hell am I watching? It messes them up. Most of it is because they turn to drugs, but like you said, that's because of everything that being on a Disney show and getting famous did to them while they were little, and then just basically like a toy just being dropped. Like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, and that's just like. There's gotta be something we can do. Like, we gotta, as a society, we gotta quit doing this to kids, because kids nowadays, we're at a point where there's parents out there that don't raise their children. They let these kids go online,
the internet,
and then kids are raising kids. There's to a point where kids are raising kids. And these creators, these influencers, these TV show personalities are raising kids, and as kids get older, these TV personalities get older, and guess what? Where these kids were first watching them on Disney, they're now following them on Twitter, and these kids are no longer on Disney. These kids are on hard drugs, and these kids are showing pictures on Twitter of them shooting up heroin and going, wow, this is cool. And that kid was first a role model to him and is in the same age as him. And now he's on Twitter seeing this kid he saw on Disney when he was a kid. One second. I know, I saw it in the middle of the podcast. Alright.
It's okay.
3, 2, 1. And so now, I mean, it's crazy that these kids are growing up with these role models that the kids just let them. These parents just were like, yeah, this is, I mean, you got to raise your kid to a degree. You can't just put them in front of a TV and expect that to happen. Because, and you got to monitor activity. I hated when my dad was like, oh, what are you watching? Or, oh, always, but now I understand why he was like that. Because I was like, because now I'm like, I understand the difference between what is real life and what is, I mean, Rice Gum. I don't know if you know what YouTuber that is.
Yeah, I know Rice Gum. Yeah.
The freaking guy that was just like a complete and utter doucher.
Yeah. Constantly
showing off money. And kids think that's real life.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that money when you're an adult. 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to get that. There's going to be that 1 out of 10 that hits it. And good for you. I hope you do good things with it. Don't make a YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, and you see iDubbbz, you know who iDubbbz is?
Oh yeah,
iDubbbz did this thing where it's called Content Cop.
Oh yeah,
he'll do like he'll like rip apart people's channels and like bag on them for things that they do. And he did one on Rice Gum, but he called it Content Cop Jake Paul because Rice Gum fed off of not just the positivity that he was getting, but the negativity. Because, I mean, any publicity is publicity.
Yeah.
And so he named it Jake Paul Content Cop. But it was about Rice Gum. And he just tore him apart for basically like, oh, you're flashing this money and all these women in your videos. When literal children are watching your videos and your raps and stuff. And I don't know. Yeah, Rice Gum is, in my eyes, just a shitty person. I never have been a fan of his channel. I mean, I know all about
that
him.
whole area of creators is just kind of, and they're all in their own category. You know who they are, like they're in that category, and they're showing off their $5 million, $20 million mansions and stuff. And it's like, I don't know. You gotta monitor what your kids are watching. You gotta sit down and be like, this is the line between reality and pseudo reality.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And it's just, I think it's becoming a bigger issue in these past couple years than it ever has. And the same way with people are trying to get whatever they can out of these kids.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
And if you're one of those that are watching us that watch these content creators, don't feel bad for watching them. They're flashy, they're attractive, it's fun to watch. Like, it's quick, easy content. It's fun to watch. I mean, I don't personally enjoy watching it because I see the shambles. But if you don't see the shambles, I can understand where it's flashy, it's fun to watch. It's easy, quick content. Like, I realized I've been watching a lot more Minecrafters, and I'm like, man, this is so cheesy, but it's quick, easy content. My brain likes that easy, quick content that I'm able to just relax and sit back to. Like, it's so cheesy, it's so dumb. And
like Donnie Bobes, do you know who Donnie Bobes is?
Bobes,
I went through a phase where I just watched a bunch of his videos where they're like made for kids. They're really cheesy,
they are.
But it's just like, I don't know why I keep watching
it. And you see it and you're like, they'll like do like a 100 days survival, and you see that they're like, you understand, okay, they didn't actually do that legit. Like, I'll sit there and I'll kind of analyze it, but I'm like, as a kid, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And nowadays I'm like watching it because I'm like, man, this is just easy to watch. Like, I'm enjoying just being able to sit back. It's like a kid's show. It's like a cartoon. You're just sitting back and you're like, this is fun to watch. And I can understand that. But when you start hearing, this is what I made in this amount of time, you ever hear your content creator say that, step back for a second and go, what is this guy's true message?
Yeah, right.
Because any content creator that says, this is what I made in this amount of time, they're trying to draw you in with a different type of appeal than is just straight content.
Right.
I mean, you gotta think about who you're watching and who you're building your. And if you see a friend watching it, sit down and be like, hey, do you like what is the message this guy's trying to purvey? Because I mean, you could watch Mr. Beast and he is ridiculous amounts of money and makes that quick, easy content that's just but his message is always him giving money. He's never going, this is how much I made. He's going, this is how much I gave these people in this amount of time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like,
I gave this guy a Tesla for breathing yesterday.
Yeah. I saw if this guy could hold his breath for 10 seconds, and I gave him 10 Teslas for every second he could hold his breath. Like, and that's like, yeah, that's just a nice message. Like, it's good, easy, clean, and it's fun content. You can just watch it and it's funny, haha. Right. But I don't know. People have got to start disassociating these people with reality.
Yeah.
And I think that's what my dad like really instilled with me is like, yeah, son, you see all this, but like the chances of that happening to you is slim to none.
Yeah.
He goes, like, especially with like YouTube, he goes, yeah, or like Twitch. Like, he goes, yeah, do it. Have fun. But don't make it a priority. Don't make it number one priority. He goes, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make it anywhere. And I'm like, and that at first that hit me, and I was like, man, it really just kind of put a bummer on everything. But now I realize I'm having more fun with making content than I was before because I'm realizing it's not a job. It's just sitting back, doing what I love doing, and getting to watch other people react to it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so
It's nice streaming, and when someone new finds your channel, and you just like you get to sit back and while you're playing your game, you look over and see what they said, and you just get to have a conversation with these people.
Yeah.
Like it's something fun to do, you know.
Yeah,
and I think most of the time that's how people make careers out of it, is they've just been doing that for a while just because they genuinely love doing it, you know.
And I mean,
it wasn't originally about money, but now it is. You know?
I met one of my good friends just because I was streaming, he was streaming, and we just kind of met up. Adam, if I was not streaming or recording when that part of my life happened, I would have never met Adam.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of, and well, I mean, I met you just playing Valorant offline, so you're not special at all, so it's whatever. But
if you didn't use your mic in that game, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
That is true. Hey, and if I never started YouTube videos or anything, I would have never had this mic. So there you go. You know, it all has a deeper meaning to it. Anything more to say, Austin?
Next time you see your kid sitting down in front of a phone screen,
or your friend, or yourself.
Yes, and if they're watching some Rice Gum video, grab it from them.
Download
the Twitch app.
Oh, sorry.
Or I was gonna say, download the Twitch app, put on Shroud, or Cuddly Croissant, or Aston Metal, either one of those.
Only those, or Shazam.
Or Shazam, yes, and tell them to watch that instead, because that's good content. Right?
Or you could even just go to Big Daddy Hiko.
Go to Hiko.
Hiko's such a dad. Like,
quite literally a dad.
Like, I'm pretty sure he could just like babysit my kids if I pulled up his Twitch. Like, I could just like have kids and just pull up his Twitch, and he would just babysit my kids without even knowing who he was.
Yeah, Hiko gets made fun of for being old all the time.
He's
like Tim the Tatman too.
Oh yeah, Tim's a good dad. Tim's an actual dad though. Hiko's not.
Oh wait, does Hiko not have kids?
No, I don't think Hiko has kids.
I thought he did. Yeah, no, Tim has kids though. I know Tim at least has one kid that loves turning off his computer. Okay, yeah, he has one kid.
All right, well, this was the Groovy Voice Podcast. I'm here always with Austin, the beautiful man to my right.
Thank you guys. Yeah. Beautiful man to my left.
All right, y'all have a groovy day, and goodbye.
See you guys.